Hey everybody, Carolina Gun Guy here. In this video, we're going to take a look at a new product from an old friend, Salem Lakes Armory. Later in the video, I'll give you a discount code for 5% off the entire Salem Lakes website, and I'll point out a really good deal that's available right now. And just to give you a heads up, Salem Lakes is a one-man shop, so if I refer to them as them, it's because that's how you refer to a business. If I refer to them as he, then I'm referring to the owner, Allison. I just want to make sure that you're not confused if I go back and forth. If you've been following the channel for a while, you may remember this video that I put out in early 2020. Someone told me that Salem Lakes Armory was making a custom rough stock for the Rough Rider with a 16-inch barrel, and I asked if they'd be willing to send one out for a review. Not only did they send out a stock, but they also sent out a prototype handguard of sorts as well to check out. I did my video, and ow, Salem Lakes took some blows for it. Salem Lakes Armory should be ashamed of themselves for releasing such a crudely made and ugly POS stock. Come on, they can go better. Both the stock and the handguard look like they were slapped together out of leftover 2x4s. They are ugly. They look like they were made from scrap wood by a 10-year-old. I will admit, the last one made me laugh a bit, but I think it's time to make amends to Salem Lakes Armory. I want to point out 3 things from my first video before we move on. First of all, the stock was and still is advertised as a rough stock, which means that it's up to you, the end user, to finish it. Sand it, stain it, cover it in glitter glue, do whatever you want to it, but it's not a finished product. Second, the handguard featured in the last video was a prototype only, and it was never sold. Before Samuel Colt released his Colt Patterson, he carved a wooden model of his design. You know, a prototype. You learn from your design mistakes and you move on to bigger and better. It was clear that the handguard was not a production item, but some people apparently thought it was. And third, I called them Salt Lakes Armory for some reason. Twice. So I just want to apologize again for that. I now know that the company is called Salem Lakes Armory, or something like that. So here we are about a year later, and Salem Lakes Armory is producing and selling a barrel shroud, not a handguard, for the Rough Rider gun. And not just a 16-inch version either, but also for the 6-inch version of the Rough Rider as well. When I found out that they were being sold, I bought one almost immediately because I wanted to try it out. Now, why is this not a handguard? Why is it a barrel shroud? Well, you don't really want to encourage anyone to put their arm right here where the cylinder gap is of a revolver. Granted, this gun shoots 22 LR or 22 WMR, so it doesn't quite have the pressure coming from like a 357 or a higher caliber, but you still don't want to get your arm too close to the cylinder gap. If you get it too close on a 22 LR, you may get a burn or a small laceration, but you're not going to lose a limb or anything. But still, safety first. Let's call it a barrel shroud and move on from there. So with that being said, did I use this barrel shroud as a handguard? You better believe it. And I had on a short sleeve shirt as well. You just have to hold your arm as far away as you can from the cylinder gap to avoid any injury. Yes, I could feel it when shooting, but it's nothing more than a short burst of air every time. You'll likely get a bunch of powder buildup if you're shooting at a ton, but I put about 70 rounds through it while holding the shroud, and I didn't notice anything. I also wasn't trying to get on an airplane right after, so I wasn't worried about setting off any TSA alarms. But if you're concerned, you can just wear a long sleeve shirt or a jacket to protect your arms. Or you could just not hold the shroud at all. You can still use the barrel shroud as an optic mount just so you can get a good red dot on there and line up your shot well. So having shot it for the 80 total rounds or so that I put through it, I want to go over what I like and what I don't like. You'll notice that I did not use the stock when I was shooting this. Salem Lakes Armory does not currently make a stock to match the barrel shroud, and I'm not calling them out on anything because, trust me, they know. But at the current time, I think it looks a little bit funny to have a wooden stock with a plastic barrel shroud, so I decided not to put it on. Besides, I didn't want to shoot this like a rifle. If I wanted a rifle, I would have bought a rifle, which I guess technically I did when I bought this 16-inch revolver, but you know what I mean. This is a unique gun, and it deserves a unique approach. I wanted to shoot this more like you would shoot an AR pistol without a brace, and honestly, it's very fun to shoot in this configuration. No one is promoting this as a self-defense gun. It's a fun gun. I made the claim in an earlier video that this gun has no purpose other than fun, and I had some people call me out on that and say it's also good for shooting squirrels and varmint because it does have such a long barrel, you get good velocity and good accuracy, and they're right, but for me, it's just for fun. Now the barrel shroud is 3D printed, so there may be some minor little blemishes that are typical and standard with 3D printing, like right there towards the front. You can see how it's a little bit rough on the edge, but I didn't do anything to this. This is as I received it, and I'll give you a look all the way around so you can see how it is. I don't plan to paint it or anything like that, so I decided just to leave it as is, and it works for me. It's actually very well done. The quality of it is really good. I'm happy with it. Now the fit is awesome. Salem Lakes Armory did their best job to make sure that this fits on as tight as possible. It took a little effort for me to get it on the first time, and I definitely appreciate the tight fit on there. Once you have it on, you can use a Ruger 1022 barrel band for right around here to secure it. I don't have a barrel band, so I didn't use one when I was testing it out. And in retrospect, I should have bought one before I did. I naively believed that I would be able to be fine without it, but I think I was wrong. You really should have some kind of barrel band to secure this down, even with the tight fit. You can see in this screen grab how it starts to pull away from the frame just a bit. It didn't affect anything while shooting, but I would definitely recommend having a barrel band if you decide to buy this shroud. There are 4 different options available right now. You can get it with or without a pick rail, and you can get it for the 6 or 16-inch versions of this gun. The prices range from $35 to $45 depending on which one you're getting. I mentioned earlier that I would give you a discount code and show you a good deal from the website. So from now until the end of March 2020, you can use the code CGG5 to get 5% off the entire website, everything. If you have any questions, you can email Salem Lakes and you'll get a response from them. But if you don't already have one of these guns, they're listed for sale right now for $155, and I know that he has some in stock. So you can get the gun, you can add a barrel shroud with a pick rail just like I have for $45, and with the CGG5 code, you can get both for $190. Allison is probably going to hate me for pushing his cheapest product, but I'm a budget gun and gear guy, so that's how I roll. And no, I'm not making any kind of commission on sales. I just think that this 16-inch Rough Rider is a great, fun gun to have that shoots cheap ammo, and I want you to be able to share in my joy. Aww. I'm going to put a link in the description to a video that Salem Lakes put out regarding installing these barrel shrouds on both the 6 and 16-inch versions. I skipped through a lot of it when I first watched it, and I missed out on a bunch of info. I had to go back and rewatch it. But if you're seriously considering buying one of these, there's a lot of information that you should know, and I recommend that you watch the whole video. And no, Salem Lakes does not care about YouTube analytics, so I'm not just trying to get more views for their channel. There's really good info in that video if you're considering buying this barrel shroud, so I recommend watching that first. But that's it for me. If you have any questions about the gun or the shroud, put them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them for you. You can also email Salem Lakes directly with your questions and they'll get back to you. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching, take care, and as always, God bless.